And why would the government say that it is proud of the work that was being done by the vile anti-Semitic hatred that has been spewed all over the internet? And a simple Google search would have turned that up by the minister's office, anybody in the minister's organization, anybody in the Department of Heritage, and anybody in the Canadian government at all.
A simple Google search could have turned up this information. Melissa Lantsman wants answer from Ahmed Hussen why it took so long to address these acts of hate. Here's the clip.
Madam Chair, I appreciate it. I'll start off. Thank you, Mr. Minister, for presenting today at committee, and I'll just jump right in. Mr. Housefather provided the minister's office with information in July about Mr. Marouf's vile anti-Semitism. And a statement was made after coming to light only on August 22nd. So that's at least 22 days if Mr. Housefather told the minister's office on July 31st. So I just want to know, what day were you made aware of Mr. Marouf's vile anti-Semitic hate spewed everywhere that I think a simple Google search could have turned up?
The comments, I want to make this absolutely clear. The comments made by this individual are absolutely appalling. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. They are reprehensible and vile, and we condemn the anti-Semitism, racism, and hatred that he has spread in the strongest possible terms. I thank MP Housefather for bringing this individual to our attention. When this issue was raised, we immediately asked the Department of Canadian Heritage to confirm the organization's project funding details and to inform us on the procedural next steps. After the review by the legal department, we followed the process in place to cut funding to the organization, as well as terminating the project.
Thank you, Minister. I asked what day you were made aware in July. So presuming that it took at least 22 days for you to make a public statement, I just want to know why it took so long.
I want to thank the honourable member for the question. I want to assure her and this committee that when this was first brought to our attention, we had obviously much less information than we do today, of course. So right away, I asked my office and my team to look into the situation and provide me with options to address this quickly. Do I wish that we've been able to move the process along more quickly? Absolutely. But it was also important that we got this right to ensure accountability for this organization and this individual, and for any other individual or group that may seek to apply for government funding. And so that's why we're moving forward on the introduction of robust new vetting measures, enhanced measures, one of which will be to ensure that the Government of Canada can act more quickly and more immediately as appropriate.
Minister, with all due respect, if you were told by a member of your own team in July and it took until August 22nd to come up with a statement on something so serious, I would certainly ask questions about the process. But I want to know, Minister, if the minister initially tried to claim shock at the entire affair, calling the issue one of CMAC, which we know is an organization of Mr. Marouf and his wife and no one else, despite the fact that the minister personally praised Mr. Marouf in a press release on April 14th, saying that our government is proud to contribute to this initiative. So I have a few questions. Did no one Google Mr. Marouf, his wife, the organization? And I want to know from the minister what he was ostensibly proud of.
First of all, I want to thank the honourable member for the question. Because the funding, with respect to the news release, because the funding was already approved in the summer of 2021, before I became the minister responsible for the file, we trusted at that time that adequate vetting had been completed. However, as we have said, this individual fell through the cracks. The vetting process failed in this case, and this is completely unacceptable. That is why I am happy to inform the committee that we're putting in place new, enhanced, robust measures to ensure that this type of thing never, ever happens again. And I'm happy to go through the details of the new enhanced vetting process.
Madam Chair, I think Canadians want to know who approved the release and whether the minister, or whether this is an omission or it's incompetence. Did nobody Google anybody in the release? And why would the government say that it is proud of the work that was being done by the vile anti-Semitic hatred that has been spewed all over the internet, and a simple Google search would have turned that up by the minister's office, anybody in the minister's organization, anybody in the Department of Heritage, and anybody in the Canadian government at all?
I agree with the honourable member. This is why your question is very important. I completely agree with you that in this particular case, the process used to select this organization failed. And that is clearly unacceptable. That is why we did the right thing by launching a review of how this organization was vetted and approved for funding. One of the things that the review showed is that that the evaluation process did not initially detect the hateful comments made by this individual and this organization. So we're taking swift action to make sure this never happens again.
Minister, I realize that you're looking at.
If I can just finish the answer, I'm sure the honourable member will appreciate what we're putting in place to make sure this never happens again.
Minister, I'd just like to know, who did you trust in the department? Are you saying that you can't trust your department going forward? And then my second question, if you'll be so kind to answer it, Mr. Maroof claims CMAC, which is an actual fact, Mr. Maroof and his wife and no one else, so not an organization, just somebody and his wife, was approached by Heritage and was begged to develop an anti-racism proposal. I want to know if that's true. I want to know if you've asked your department, and I want to know if you can trust the answer from the Canadian Department of Heritage.
The minister has 17 seconds to answer.
Madam Chair, I want to thank the honourable member for the question. Because I only have a few seconds left, I'll say to the honourable member once again, the vetting process in this place failed. Our responsibility is to ensure that this never happens again by introducing new and enhanced and robust measures to make sure this never happens again. And that's exactly what we're doing. And until then, no single dollar will go out. All funding has been paused to make sure this never happens again.
Thank you very much.